Check 1, 2. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's the Wednesday edition of the Morning Buzz, Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. Excuse me. I'm all out of sorts. I'm all out of sorts this morning. Didn't make it to the 4 a.m. club. My parents got into town last night. We had some dinner and we relaxed and enjoyed some conversation. And before you know it, it was 10:30, and I was falling asleep in the middle of the hanging out and conversation. And I was like, okay, my brain doesn't function on 4 hours sleep anymore, so I'm going to forego the 4 a.m. club. Um, I didn't sacrifice family time for the 4 a.m. club. It's a balance, right? It's a balance. However, I am going to go right after the show, get my workout in, my first workout of the day. Um, but, up until about a year ago, I was able to get like 4 hours sleep, 5 hours sleep, and then just kind of muscle through and jump right back in and keep going. But for some reason, something's happened to me physiologically. Is that a word? Physiologically, don't even really know what physiologically means, but I think this is where you use it. Something has happened to me physiologically in the last year where my head starts to really hurt if I don't get enough sleep. And I don't require a lot of sleep. 6 hours, like that's 6 to 8 hours. If I get 8 plus, I can't even stay asleep. So, but my kind of zone is probably 6 hours, 6.5 hours is my sweet spot. So, but anything less than that these days is just not. It doesn't agree with me. So, okay, Wednesday, April 14th, 2021. It's the Morning Buzz. We are pushing through week 6 of the show, and we've got a packed show today. Today we have. I'm going to check in with my friend Amanda Moore. She is the person responsible for getting me on board with this 75 hard challenge. She's 5 days ahead of me, so we're going to check in with her this morning at 7:20 to see how she's tracking. To get a female's perspective of the challenge, I know a lot of you have reached out to me individually saying, Mike, tell me about this thing. What is it? Why do we do no sugar? This, that, the other. 2 workouts. Why do we do that? All these things. And so I can give you my perspective from a male's point of view about the physiological effects. Can I use that word again there? I want to look up physiological real quick. Physiology. Hold on. Just bear with me. Physiology. What does physiology mean? I don't even know if I spelled it right. It means the branch of biology that deals with normal functions of living organisms and their parts, the way in which a living organism or bodily part functions. I guess I'm using it correctly. That's good. So she's going to give us the female's perspective of the physiology behind the 75 hard challenge. Really, we'll just see how she's tracking, what her challenges have been, what things she likes about it, what she doesn't like about it, and what her goals are, and all that fun stuff. So she's coming in at 7:20 to do a real quick check-in for the 75 hard challenge. Mr. Mac's going to be here at 7:30, as always, giving us the daily updates for the activities and the athletics going on at the high school. Eric Lewis will be in the house doing our history, our weekly history minutes, 10 minutes of a history lesson, which I love because I'm a history buff and I can't wait. And so he'll be in this morning at 7:45, 8 o'clock. Coach Crow football update. No idea if it's going to be on the phone or on camera. We had him on camera last week, but it was pre-taped. It was awesome. So hopefully we can get him in some way, shape, or form. 8 o'clock. And then at 8:15, our district update, our weekly district update with Mr. Burnett and Mr. Asplund. They will just check in with us. They probably don't have a lot of new news to share, but they'll check in with us. Maybe we'll get some updates on the standardized testing and the planning for next year. And so, and then mixed into all that, we'll have Anthony Reed checking in with us for the latest and greatest incidents and actions in and around the county. And so obviously the biggest news of the county yesterday was the break in the Kristen Smart case with the arrest of Paul Flores and his father. So huge news for our county, for people my generation, for just everybody in this community that's tied to that case in some way, shape, or form. So congratulations to Sheriff Parkinson and his team for moving one step further towards resolution of that case. So that's good stuff. Okay, so a couple announcements to make real quick. In case you didn't catch it, I'll relink the information. But the Women's Charitable Club Scholarship, that is a scholarship that's due this Saturday by 5 p.m. A couple of you have hit me up about it because the application says one thing, but they've actually extended it. So make sure that if you haven't applied for that or haven't had a kid apply for that yet, who is eligible, you can still do it. The application link is on the Morning Buzz Facebook page. You can scroll down and find it. The other one is the Booster Scholarship, and then also the Shelby Sudbrink Memorial Fund Scholarship. So those are the three that we're tracking. There's one out of Creston that I'm trying to get a hold of. The Creston Women's Club group has one that I need to get some more information on before I share it with you. So hopefully I can hear back from them at some point. But lots of scholarship opportunities out there still. So the link to go find these scholarships. Let me share my screen here. Share the screen. Boom. Okay, here's me looking up physiology. Yeah, I just want to make sure I was using it in the proper format. All right, so Templeton High School. And this is me just Googling Templeton High School. The first one is the link. Boom. You click on that. And then you can go. There's a magnifying glass somewhere. Here it is, the search bar. And you type in scholarships. I've already done. You go to scholarships, and the very top link is your scholarships. And here we go. Here are all the scholarships you can see offered by someone for the seniors. And so lots of them closed already, right? But if you keep scrolling down, here's the Templeton Women's. Boom. Pastel. Why do I say pastel? Pastel Society of the West Coast Art Scholarship. That's due tomorrow. Optimist Club due April 19th. So tons of them still out there hanging, low-hanging fruit for your students who are just interested in figuring out how they can supplement their income and take a little bit of a burden off them as they go into the next phase of their education. So that's all stuff that's available. Boom. Oh, there's a Justice for Kristen Smart scholarship. That's interesting. But that one's closed. So yeah, I mean, and parents of juniors, this is something for you guys to track. I would be bookmarking all of these things to make sure that we are you're ahead of the game next year as it comes around. So lots and lots and lots of scholarship opportunities for your student out there. So yeah, those are the ones that we had on the show. Other announcements. We have I'm getting mixed because the county website says that we're still in the red tier, but then I heard that we're in the orange tier. So I don't know if you guys know, if you know or not know. I don't know. Just give me a comment. Let me know what tier you think we're in. This is could be a fun game. Anyways, I'm wearing my essential hat today. I had this made back in April. When we were trying to decide what was essential versus non-essential. And I thought, you know what? I'm essential for something. I don't know what, but I'm essential. So Summer Battle, otherwise known as Pastor Robles' mom, is the person behind making this hat and many other hats that I wear. She is the Mad Hatter of the county. She's awesome, and so she is quick to respond, gets the hats out. She's reasonably priced, and she's just a joy to work with. And so I highly recommend Summer Battle if you guys want custom hats made. She's legit. So girls volleyball, I was at the game yesterday. If you were watching the live stream, you might have seen me sitting behind the scorekeeper's table, not doing anything. I wasn't a spectator. I was actually hired to be a scorekeeper. I volunteered to be a lines judge and a scorekeeper. And when I got there, my job was just to shadow the scorekeeper to learn how to do the scoreboard. And so Angela English did a superb job running that scoreboard and the clock. Took a couple passes through to get it right, but it's super complicated. Who would have thought keeping score at a high school game would be so complicated? There's buttons that you have to push before you push the button that you want to push. And then there's like toggles to turn the buzzer on and off and start the clock and this. And there's a lot going on. So Angela did all the work. I sat behind her. I observed, but I also got to watch the game. So which was really cool. But if you watch the live stream, it really looked like I was just breaking the rules and there to watch my daughter play, which I could see how that would be the perception. Now, there were people, it was kind of strange. I did see a dad with like 4 kids walk in and just sit down. And we're like, not sure what's going on there. But he kept his distance. So I guess it was okay. Yeah, so the girls volleyball, they lost a heartbreaker. This is varsity, right? So varsity came in, Mission came into town yesterday. The Mission girls are awesome. There's a few of them that we know that we played travel or club ball with. They're just great girls, good competitors, hard workers. So it was fun to see that back and forth with them. They worked hard. Our girls played great. They worked hard. They were all over the floor. We're getting better and better every game, which is awesome. And the girls played well together. There was great communication, diving for balls. You know, we had some missed serves, which were kind of a bummer. But for the most part, the games went into. There was 5 sets. We ended up losing in 5, but we competed, which was great. The 4th game, we ended up beating them 30-28. That game kept going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and that was great. There were some really great, what do they call it? Rallies? Thank you, rallies going on. And so, yeah, it's exciting to watch those girls get better and better and better as their season progresses. And today they are down in Mission playing varsity girls. So varsity Mission team was here yesterday. Now we're there today. JV had yesterday off. Mission doesn't have a JV team. But today, hats off to Vicky Whirling. Is that her last name? Facebook. I think it's Vicky Whirling. Yeah. Hats off to Vicky. She is the JV coach for Paso Robles High School. She reached out to Coach Brady, Allison, my wife, and said, hey, our JV girls don't have a game tomorrow, and your JV girls don't have a game tomorrow. We should play each other. And so that's really cool. Paso and Templeton JV girls volleyball today at Paso, I think. Yeah, I think it's at Paso. So that's exciting. And Paso has different restrictions and allowances for spectators. And so if you are wanting to see your kid play and they're a JV volleyball player, then you can go to Paso, and they've got I think 4 per player, something like that. I don't know. You're probably going to show up there and get turned away and then blame me for it, but I can't remember what it is. Again, if you're just joining, I'm all out of sorts today. I missed the 4 a.m. club. I stayed up too late. My parents got into town. We barbecued. No, I didn't barbecue. My stepdad barbecued. And so, okay. Allison says, Coach Brady says it's 2 per player. 2, is it household members per player, I believe? So you can go to Paso and see if you're in the same household as your JV player that you're going to root on. You can go. And so I went to bed late and I woke up late. I didn't go to the 4 a.m. club. It's day 16 for me for this 75 hard challenge. And today I'm feeling like I ate something different yesterday that's causing me to have a headache. And I don't know what it is. I worked out hard yesterday. I drank all my water. I stayed on my diet. But I'm a little kind of out of sorts this morning. So I'm trying to figure out what's the root cause of the physiological condition of my body. So anyways, all right, it's 7:15. Let's check in with Mr. Anthony Reed, who fun fact about Anthony. Anthony has been on the show now for, I don't know, 4 weeks or so, 3 or 4 weeks. And him and I have never met in person. And so yesterday after the show, I was running around doing some errands and I hit him up and I said, dude, let's go grab some egg. And so Anthony and I had the chance to meet yesterday. It was really cool. And first time. So in a winding down pandemic world, we're able to meet in person and enjoy a plate of eggs together. So Anthony, it was great to meet you in person yesterday. Thanks for everything that you do for our show, and thanks for everything you do for the county with your website, Paso Robles Incidents and Actions on Facebook. So good morning.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, and good morning to you as well. It's good to be here.
So we looked like you remember that Danny DeVito, Arnold Schwarzenegger movie Twins,
Yeah.
where he's like 5'2" and Arnold's like 6'8". That was you and I yesterday. You're 6'6",
Yeah.
and I'm 5'10". So we were walking in, and people were like, "Okay, this is this good cop, bad cop? What's going on here?" But yeah, no, it was great to meet you. And okay, so big news yesterday out of the county, right, with the arrest of Paul Flores and Ruben Flores. And then Sheriff Parkinson came on and gave his 2 p.m. press conference, and then the sheriff's department released the statement. And really, kind of, that's pretty much all we know right now. They still haven't found Kristen's body, or they haven't, at least at this point, notified the public if they found anything. But as of yesterday, he said that they have not found it. And then they're continuing. Now the case is turned over to the DA.
Right.
And then that's kind of what we're waiting for, right?
Yeah, so he said that they did find, quote unquote, key evidence to link the two to the case. And so that's what's kind of holding it all together, is whatever evidence that they found. But Mike, one thing that he did kind of reiterate yesterday is that the case is sealed. And so just if I can explain that for a second and what that means. So it means because it's basically an active case still, though it's been 25 years plus, or almost 25 years, it's still an active investigation. And so what that means is because it's still an active investigation, and technically now still going through the courts, because it's an active case in the courts, it can't be talked about because it's still active. So that's what he means by the case is sealed. It's not like it's like this water bottle, like the cap's on it and it's sealed. It's just a figure of speech, but that means it's an active case.
So basically, we're going to get limited information coming out from here on out until the trial, and then there's the question was from some journalist: will the trial be held in SLO County? It's a high-profile case, and he obviously doesn't have the answer to that as of now, but he does see it being a possibility of being moved out of the area. But we will wait and see. Anything else happening in and around the county?
No, actually, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much been the last 24 hours. I turned on KSBY this morning to kind of see if there's any more updates, and there isn't. So
Okay.
it's just
Good.
whatever he announced in the press conference yesterday.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right, Anthony, we will check back with you here at 7:55. We appreciate you keeping us in the loop on that.
All right, my pleasure.
All right, see you, bud. All right, that's Anthony Reed, Paso Robles Incidents and Actions, and he is helping us track all the news real time, everything happening in and around the North County. All right, so at this time it's 7:20. This girl has a lot going on. She's got littles coming in and out of the house, so we're gonna get her in and out of her as quickly as possible. I promise. Good morning, Amanda. How are you?
Morning, Mike. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. You're looking great.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Hey, thanks. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I think that's
Cool.
the best thing about this challenge that we're doing is just how it makes you feel, energy and all that.
Yeah, I feel terrible today, and I don't know.
Oh.
I've got a headache, and I don't know because it's just a lack of sleep. My parents got here, and we stayed up till 10:30, and we had dinner, and so it kind of threw off my sleep routine, which
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's probably why I feel like I'm hungover, like
Yeah.
you know, like I did something wrong in my diet yesterday, but I did it all normal. So I didn't have any sugar,
Right.
no gluten. What is it? No gluten, no sugar, no dairy,
Yep. That's what we're doing.
and
Yep.
no alcohol. Yeah.
And no alcohol. Yep.
All right. So you're on day
Yeah.
20. What's that?
I was gonna say, yeah, with all your workouts and everything, I'm sure sleep is like essential for recovery.
Totally.
So.
Yeah. You're day 21, right?
Yep. Starting day 21 today.
Okay, so for those of you, so for me, my workouts, I typically do one in the gym, and it's usually a little bit of cardio, a little bit of weightlifting, and some type of like CrossFit type regimen. Whether yesterday I did like 100 wall balls, right? 100 wall ball squats, and then I do Russian twists, stuff like that. What is like your, oh, and then my second workout is typically a hike outside or run outside.
Yeah.
So what are your workouts
I have been getting up most days. I get up about 6 and I come out to the living room and put on YouTube. I really enjoy working out with Sydney Cummings.
Okay.
Great, especially for ladies. She's got like really high energy, and a lot of her stuff is like HIIT, high intensity interval training. So we use some dumbbells, and I really like it. I feel like I'm, getting stronger, and that's kind of one of my goals as I'm aging, and things tend to hurt easier. I feel like it's important to build a little bit of muscle. I'm not using huge dumbbells, but it helps.
And anybody,
Go
I
ahead.
got Sydney's YouTube up here.
Oh,
And
nice.
and so these are all workouts that you can do kind of in the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, pick whatever. She has different like month-long training. So I'm doing her Accelerate one right now. Last month I did her Ignite, and she posts a new one every day. I'm kind of just following her old programs, but she posts a live one every morning at 5.
So is she live when you're doing
No,
it?
she's not live. I think she
Okay.
pre-records it, but she posts it every day. Yeah.
Got it.
So yeah,
Okay.
resource for people wanting to do something from home.
Sydney Cummings. All right. I'll let me post the link to that for those of you who are interested. Let's
Cool.
see. Putting it in the chat. All right. So that's one workout that you do too.
One, and then my second one is usually a walk/jog. I'm trying to run a little longer than I'm walking, starting to amp it up.
Sure.
But I haven't been like a runner or really somebody who's like a hardcore workout girl. So this is definitely a challenge for 75 days to do 2 workouts, but that's what I needed. It's that motivation to like make you do it. So.
And are you finding that your schedule, are you sticking to like a certain time every day where that second workout happens?
I pretty much have to, because I have my 5 kids, 2 of them I'm homeschooling, and then I have an infant daycare. Some days it's 7:30 to 5:30, and some days it's 12:30 to 5:30. So I pretty much have to get my second workout in after that. So
After 5:30. Okay.
Yeah.
And then talk about your diet throughout the day. What does that look like?
Typical for me would be, I usually have a smoothie with some protein powder in the morning. I personally do coconut water, spinach, the protein powder, and a little bit of berries, and sometimes some chia seeds. Sometimes I'll throw in a half a banana. So that's typically my breakfast. If I don't do that, I'll do a couple eggs with avocado. I used to be a total like toast and egg and avocado girl, but
Right.
side of the bread for now, but feeling better throughout the day. I don't have that like afternoon, like, oh, I'm tired. And I think it was
Right.
gluten in the bread, honestly. I just kind of go through the day steady now. So I like it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And
And
salads,
so,
proteins, stuff like that.
and one of the things that you and I are doing different is I'm doing zero fruit,
Right.
and you're doing the fruits, and I'm wondering if that's making a difference with your energy levels because you're getting that natural sugar.
Right. Some natural.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Are you feeling tired in the afternoons?
I am, but it's probably as a result of waking up so early, right? I mean,
You're doing the 4 a.m. club still?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm typically up at 3:25 and out of the house by 3:40,
Woo! Yeah.
and then back here by 5:30 to start working on the show stuff. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, today I didn't do the 4 a.m. club because I got to bed so late last night, but
Right.
I'll go after the show, do my first workout in the gym, and then probably a hike this afternoon.
Nice.
So, okay, what's been the hardest part of this challenge for you so far?
I think honestly for me, it's probably like not having any sugar because I'm kind of a girl who, and I've realized this about myself for the last 20 days, like, oh, I'm an emotional eater. I wouldn't say I have like a big eating problem, but if I'm feeling stressed or something, I want to go grab a candy or grab some chips, and so
Yeah,
you go, oh, and kind of notice that and, go chug some water since we have to drink a gallon a day.
right. Okay.
That's probably been the hardest. And my kids love to bake, so there's always cookies and brownies sitting out. So
Sure.
yeah, but it's teaching me I have self control. I can have self control. So
Right. Yeah, my biggest challenge has been getting the reading in.
okay,
Yeah, I find myself, um, trying to. I'm such a busy, like I always have to be doing something. So for me to be able to sit down for 40 minutes and read 10 pages,
yeah.
or that's hard for me to figure out the best time to get that in. And what are you reading right now?
Currently, I'm reading. I have 3 teenagers at home. Well, 5 if you count the boyfriends hanging out all the time.
Right.
um, I'm reading Boundaries for Kids by Henry Cloud, Dr. Henry Cloud. He's a psychologist. He wrote Boundaries, and I previously read Boundaries for Kids, and it's been very helpful. There's just some really practical, good insights. I definitely recommend those books. And also, he has a podcast called The Dr. Henry Cloud Show, which I love. I'll listen to that on walks and stuff.
Okay.
All
Boundaries for
about relationships, having healthy relationships. He says we're getting herd immunity against dysfunction. So that's his kind of like.
Oh, all right. I put the link to that book here in the chat as
Awesome.
well. Okay. Yeah. So as I'm going through this, I'm discovering more kind of little subtle rules. Like once you start one book, you have to finish that
Right.
book.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So, and then it has to be a self-development book.
Right.
And so, when I started, I was reading a biography, or it's a historical account of the history of Nashville music scene.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, that's kind of self-development for me because I'm an artist and I love music, but maybe it's not. And so I stopped reading that and started on the Jordan Peterson book. What is it? 12 Rules for Life or something like that.
Cool.
Which that one I'm not a fan of yet. It's super scientific. And, when it starts talking about, just things that I don't know. It's super deep for me, and I'm kind of muscling through it right now, and that's probably why I'm having a hard time fitting it in to my schedule.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm putting it. All right, so
your kid just walked in my house.
Oh gosh, okay. Yeah. So if he has any of my clothes over there, I'm like missing 17 sweatshirts.
There might
And,
be because there's a whole pile of.
right.
He doesn't like
I'm
to take them
sure.
home for some reason.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So when did you day 6 for me, I distinctly remember day 6, I hit a wall. I felt sick as a dog. Um, and it's like this is such a weird time where you don't want to tell anybody or you feel sick.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
but like it was day 6. I didn't feel good. I went to the gym. I sweated out. And I went to bed. Day 7, I woke up feeling amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah. And so when did you feel that initial like crash? And
I was I was already working out once a day and pretty much eating clean. Although, it's like, oh, if I wanted a cookie, I'd have a cookie and, go splurge, go out to eat or whatever. So I didn't have that like detox thing that you had. That's rough. I've had that,
yeah,
started trying to be healthy again. So for me, it wasn't that. It's more just like, oh, okay, I got to do the second workout, even though it's dark. And we went out, last Friday night, we went out with some family for dinner and it was dark. And I was like, I got to go run for 45 minutes in
right.
my neighborhood. So it's just that kind of stuff for me. Like, you got to do it. There's no excuse with this, which is good.
Totally.
Yeah.
The other thing I like is we're part of this accountability group on Facebook. So this 75 Hard Challenge is a program that's by this guy named Andy Frisella. I'm not a huge Andy Frisella fan. He's kind of like I don't know, just one of those internet dudes who tries to like sell you his program and this and that. And I'm just not into that. But I do like the challenge itself. And so there's an accountability group that Amanda and I are part of on Facebook. And it's really cool to see people's stories, to see their progress pics. And, everybody's got the same struggles, and everybody's encouraging each other. So I'm a huge fan of like communities like that. I think everybody needs support and camaraderie and people cheering them on. So thanks for inviting me into this challenge.
Sure. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, for sure. And so the phase 1, which is after the 75 days, is that something that you're going to take on?
Sure. I don't know too much about it, except I believe you have to take a cold shower every day. Like a shower. So I don't know what else it entails, but I'm not too tempted. Although I do hope to kind of keep some of these things going just as lifestyle changes.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's a 5-minute cold shower, and then there's some journaling involved.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
cool. Well,
yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. But so day 21 for you, day 16 for me. We will let's reconnect and check back in when you're at day 30.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Good. Thanks, Mike.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah.
You too. See you.
Right.
Bye. All right. That's Amanda Moore. She's on that 75 Hard Challenge with me. She's a beast.
Yeah.
She's just staying the course and going strong at it. And I have her to thank for smacking me upside the head with reality and saying, do something with yourself to get back to it. And so thanks, Amanda. And now, Mr. Mack, I challenge you.
Oh gosh, no.
No, I'm just
kidding. I heard cold 5-minute cold shower and I heard avocado. Wow.
It's so California, right?
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? The Moores, wow, what a great family. Huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Amazing kids. Jason, Amanda. Wow, they've done a great job with those kids.
Jason's on the film crew. He goes out to the games on Friday and does the filming with me. So, they've taken my boy in as one of their own and treat him like family. And
I told heaven for that, huh?
Yeah, and I told him, look, just get him back to me when he's 23, when you guys have figured him all out, and we'll be good to go. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a little. I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show, but I'm a little out of sorts this morning. I went to bed late. My parents got into town. We enjoyed each other's company. We got to catch up, and rather than go to bed to get up for the 4 a.m. club, I figured it was quality time spent with my mom and stepdad and Allison in a rare occasion where we all get to kind of sit and enjoy each other's company. So that was nice. It was worth it, but
It's a good break.
I'm kind of scattered.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at the volleyball game yesterday.
Wow, what a game, huh?
Oh man, it was great. It was great. The girls played awesome. Obviously the score, it didn't go our way, but yeah, they played well. They're coming together. Everybody's diving for balls. Great block, great rallies. I mean, we saw some really good rallies in the fourth game. It was 30-28. Like it was just back and forth, super competitive. So those games could have gone either way.
Yeah, Mike, I talked to some of the girls yesterday before the game, and they had come to nobody who plays us watches this show, right? So I can say what they told me.
I think they all watched the show.
Dang. Okay. Well, anyways, they told me that we don't have a lot of height. And because of that, they've really come to the realization that they're just going to have to be unbelievable defenders and just, scrap and dig everything that gets hit their way. So they have an understanding of who they are and how they're going to win. So exciting to see them have such a close game against, it was Mission, right? I think it was Mission.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then they get them again tonight. So we'll see what happens.
On their court.
Yeah, but I don't know about the home court advantage so much, especially in volleyball, but home court advantage without fans. I don't know that you're really getting much for that, but
yeah,
who knows?
You remember the good old days when you had our student body and their student body cheering section.
Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable. Seems like forever ago, but
it doesn't it? I mean, for those of you who've never experienced a basketball or volleyball game in the gym, what's the name of our gym? Is it? Do we have a name?
Thorndike Gym.
Thorndike Gym. Okay. If you've never experienced a home game in Thorndike Gym, it's something to go to. It's a lot of fun. We've got the mascots there and the cheering section, the wingmen, and the kids love just getting in the other team's head. I mean, it's a fine line between sportsmanship and respect, but I mean, it's sports. It's a sporting event, and you want to do everything to get the upper hand, within the rules. And so our student body takes full advantage of that and has a lot of fun with the opposing team all the time.
Yeah.
And
hey, Mike, I'll give you a great story. You want a quick story?
Yeah, please.
So Jordan Stowers, one of my favorite people, basketball player here a couple years ago, he was telling me a story of, and this is not to say that our guys don't do this as well, but he was telling me a story about them. A lot of the opposing fans will just stalk people's internet, stalk people's Instagram. And so Jordan was on the free throw line of a game, and he was on the road. I don't know where they were playing. And Jordan had recently broken up with his girlfriend. And so, in his Instagram, there's of course a bunch of pictures, and then there aren't of this young lady. And so he's on the free throw line, and they're just yelling to him, "Hey, how's what happened to so and so?" And they're calling out her name, and he said he couldn't help but laugh that they had gone to that extent to try to figure out what would get in his head. So
that's so great.
Yeah, I know Coach Franklin used to always really stress to the wingmen, let's lift our kids up and let's not put the other ones down. You don't want to throw fuel on the fire, let's hold up our own kids. So that's where you'd get, like, when McKenna Martin was a freshman on the volleyball team, and every time she did something good, which was often, they would chant, "She's our freshman," that kind of stuff. So yeah, we missed that. We missed that, just that energy and passion on the.
One of my personal favorites is when the opposing team, the girl's getting ready to serve, and she's bouncing the ball on the ground, and every time she bounces, the whole crowd goes bounce, bounce, bound. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I love stuff like
Yep.
that, and especially when it's good, clean fun. When it gets ugly and people start name calling, and like there's no room for that. But there's always room for just a fun, competitive environment where people are just trying to get in each other's head. So,
And it's coming
Those
again.
days-
We're gonna get that back at some point.
100%. Yeah. And so girls volleyball will kick off in the fall. And with any hope, we've got normalcy coming next fall, hopefully.
Right.
And I don't even know, what tier are we in today as a county?
We are red, but to be honest, if you look at the numbers, and I couldn't figure it out. I asked Mr. Aston about it because all of the numbers seem to indicate that we should be orange.
Mhm.
But I wonder if you have to hold it for 2 weeks and then they move you because the numbers hold there. However, we did have a bad day yesterday with 70 something cases or 50 something cases, so that wasn't good.
In our county?
Yeah, that wasn't good. But that's been the first blip, for a good amount of time.
We've had no positive. Joe Farley said no positive COVID cases for any student athletes in the last week in the county.
Imagine,
Yeah.
kids are healthy. Imagine, right?
Yeah. So that's great. That's great news. What else is going on today?
Well, we got baseball. First of all, hey, soccer last night. Oh my gosh, 9 goals. Lucas Hammer with a hat trick. A couple other guys with 2 goals each. 9-2, man.
Really?
So great victory. It's like almost everybody scored. I mean, not really, but 5 players scored for our 9 goals. Yeah, there they are. I mean, look at those. So for every soccer ball they're holding, that's a goal they scored last night. So
Wow.
yeah, great game for us. 9-2. JV team lost 2-0, but that was their first game, which was because not every team has a JV team this year and that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, great game for them. Today we got baseball.
Hey, real quick before we move on to today, what happened with girls soccer yesterday? It got canceled.
Yeah, girls soccer got canceled. Some sort of, I think, some sort of scheduling something. Plus, guys tennis. We were looking forward to having them at home, and went out to the courts. And sorry, game got canceled. Match got canceled. Yeah, so that was too bad. The best way to note because games seem to be changing a lot, or
Sure.
last minute cancellation or switching locations or something like that. If you scroll up to the top of that, Mike, where you're at, that link go down a little bit where it says where and when, whatever, right? Yeah, there you go. When and where. If you click on that, it'll take you to Coach Farley's, for listeners of the Mike Brady Show. You got a special link to the most updated. This is right off of, I stole this off Coach Farley's desk. So when he updates something, it gets updated there. So if you read it in the paper, you see it on KSBY, don't believe it. If this differs from what you're hearing from other people, this is the accurate one. So
this is everything.
Yeah, and then if you go down, you'll see at the bottom of that, there's the different tabs for the different weeks. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't get yourself too far in advance because things change. But
And this is a living, breathing document that's changing all the time.
absolutely.
Okay. So before you you load up your van with your chairs, just double check this link.
Yeah, before
Make
you
sure the
drive to
game's still
LA
happening.
for the game, make sure you're checking here.
All right. I posted that link in the chat. So I know Malcolm High, he was asking me for a place to go find all the schedules. Malcolm, this is your link that you're asking for right here.
I would love Malcolm.
And anybody else, who wants to know. So okay, well that's cool. I finally you're sharing the secret stuff with us.
Yeah, and all you have to do really is just keep that link because it's not a new link every week. It's the same link. So as long as you keep that, you're good.
Okay, so let me see here. How do I bookmark this? Bookmarks, add bookmark. Done. All right,
you'll
there it
see
is.
we-
It's in my book.
You'll see we got varsity baseball. We got girls volleyball again. You already mentioned that. And then we got JV baseball today. And then we've got on Thursday, guys tennis again, but this time they're on the road playing at Hancock. They're playing Orchid. And soccer, girls and guys soccer, guys tennis. Guys tennis appears to be on there twice. So we'll get after Coach Farley for that. And JV boys soccer. So
Okay.
yeah. So there you go. And then Friday, we got just a football game, but it's not just a football game because we're playing Paso.
Right. Ooh, yeah.
And then Saturday, kind of a light schedule with baseball going.
Okay, well, cool. Let's see here. No change in the guidance that we know of for spectators yet on Friday, right?
Yeah, no, nothing, nothing. And you'll hear that from Coach Farley. If there's a change, he'll be sure and get that out. He'll post things like that on our athletic Facebook page, which is always a great place to go for pictures or for video clips or for information coming straight from Coach Farley about things like what you're talking about, attendance.
Okay.
Fans.
Okay, cool. Let's see what else is going on outside of sports with activities. Any?
Yeah. So, it's a couple weeks away, but we got cap and gown distribution on April 29th, and that's not a big deal itself, but what it's telling you is graduation's coming and, all the things that kind of go with that. Mike, I don't know if you know this, but I'm going to get a guest for you. We have an underutilized resource here on campus, and that is something we call Deezer's Den. And that's named after Mrs. Deezer, Cindy Deezer, who is a longtime Templeton staff member at both the middle school and now the high school for a number of years. And she has a place for students who need extra help. And she has free, get that, free Cal Poly tutors for any grade, free. Now, she is, they're not mathletic, okay?
Right.
And I mean, because who is really, to be honest? But for those who aren't up for athletics, these are college students who will tutor you for free in any subject. If you need it like regularly, like man, every day I need some brush up. Awesome. I just got a big test tomorrow. I just have these 3 questions, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And we've got not just one. I mean, there's multiple Cal Poly tutors with expertise in a lot of different things. So I'm going to get you one of those tutors or Mrs. Deezer to join.
So Mrs. Deezer, is this a program that she's put together herself? That's kind of
it's morphed from the WISE tutorial program. Mrs. Deezer is one of the instructors in the WISE tutorial for our freshmen, but Deezer's Den is open to any grade, a student from any grade level. And these free tutors are there for anybody who needs help. And, we've got, molecular biology on campus, and you're thinking, geez, who's going to tutor those people? Well, Cal Poly students are going to be here to tutor them. So with cap and gown distribution, it just reminds me how finals aren't too far down the line. AP testing is not too far down the line. That's the first couple weeks of May. If you're a parent there and your child is struggling, you need to reach out to Mrs. Deezer, and we'll get her on here, or we'll get one of her tutors on here, and maybe parents could reach out, or the kids. Obviously, the kids could email Mrs. Deezer and say, "Hey, how do I sign up?"
And is there a link somewhere on the high school website to find her information?
Yeah, great question, Mike. Everything you would ever want to know is on our website. So
yes.
if you she's
did a search for
Monday
Deezer
through Friday, 8 to 2, and it says that right at the top of our website. No appointments necessary.
Oh, there it is.
Right. So you can email her, is kind of probably the easiest way. And that would be cdeezer at, C, the letter C like cat, cdeezer at templetonusd.org. But I'm going to get her or somebody else on here, maybe one of the tutors, to talk with you about, it's that first. Yeah, there you go.
Where is
Yeah,
it?
just look that first out. There you go.
Deezer's Den. There it is.
So just the letter C and then Deezer, DEASER at templetonusd.org. And
is that really what she looks like?
Almost identical. Yeah. Except it doesn't say back to school on her computer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It says I break for coffee or something like that.
I'm not a mathlete.
I'm not. Perfect.
It says that. Hey, so Mike, we got that going on. And then I already talked about AP testing on the 14th. And then some of these dates they're really tentative, but they just give you a ballpark. Scholarship night, which you've been talking about, the different scholarships. Those are being awarded right now, tentatively set for May 27th.
Okay.
Final exams, again, tentatively set for 3rd, 4th, 7th, and 8th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Evening for the Stars, again, tentatively set for June 2nd. And one of my favorite things, Mike, and we may have to go live with this with you, or maybe you come live, is our senior walk, where our seniors are dressed in cap and gown. And they leave our school and they walk through the middle school campus amongst all the students out there. Have made a tunnel for them throughout the middle school. Walk through there, led by the principal, and then they make it over to some of the greatest scenes are when they're walking through Templeton Elementary, and you got these little kids who aren't even up to the kids' waist level for some of them, and they've got signs out there, or you have kindergarten teachers who remember the 12th grader who's now graduating, and there's one teacher who a couple years ago held up a blanket that had all of the kids' faces that were now seniors, but
that's
they were
cool.
When they were in her class back, 12 years ago or whatever that would have been. So cool to see that. So that's coming up. That is on the, I think I said the 1st, tentatively set. Baccalaureate usually is the Sunday before graduation. If that's the case, that's June 6th. Graduation is the 10th. We got Teacher Appreciation Week coming up. That is May 3rd through May 7th. And, always a cool thing to honor and it's not really teacher appreciation on our campus. We always do staff appreciation. So we recognize, everybody, because everybody's a part of the puzzle.
Yeah. Speaking of staff, I do want to give a shout out real quick. Let me check my notes here. Rob Tompkins, Coach Tompkins, was on the show yesterday. And Rob spoke very highly of most of the coaching staff and all the support that he's been getting. But he sent me a special note after, and he wanted me to make sure that we mentioned Randy Botts and the MOT crew.
Yeah.
The field looks the best it's ever looked in the 3 years that he's been there, and he wanted to thank them for their efforts and sincerely appreciates them working with the program. Definitely a team effort. So that's a shout out to Randy Botts and the MOT crew.
Yeah. And I was talking to the soccer coach yesterday, guy's soccer coach, and he was saying, as he was watching the JV guys play, he was sitting back there saying almost the identical thing, but different field, obviously. Soccer team plays out on our football field, which is, depending on which sport's playing, it's the soccer field. And he was saying, I've never seen the soccer field look so good.
Oh, it looks great. Yeah. No, and it could be because nobody set foot on it for 12 months or whatever, but they're looking fabulous. So hats off to that crew. So staff appreciation, which by the way, we need to get Archie on the show at some point. I got to figure out how to get Archie on to talk through what his daily life's like, because he's everywhere at once, which is incredible. So Mr. Lewis is running late. We're not going to get a history lesson today. You got time to hang out for a minute?
Not really, because I got students in 5 minutes too, which is what he's got.
All right. Well, we'll make it quick. We'll do 5 minutes. Okay. What happened on this day? Oh, hold on. Oh, Anthony's in the chat room. Do you know what the significance of the day April 14th is? Don't Google it.
Hang on. Let me think. There were so many things that happened on April 14th. Could it be that the are you talking about something that has to do with the water, or something that doesn't have to do with the water?
This is one of the most historically significant events in our nation's history.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with, a lot of things have happened. I'm going to go with Lincoln being shot, but.
Correct.
Okay, I didn't know if you were going with the other one.
No, what was the other one that you had?
Maybe I'm wrong on that day. I was thinking that, the Titanic hit an iceberg.
Oh, was that today?
Yep.
Oh, okay. 1912?
Barely today. 1912. Barely today, because that was at 11:40 p.m.
You know how I know it was 1912? Because I watched the movie Titanic like 400 times.
Oh, okay. And you probably know that vaccine for typhoid was discovered today, back in 1903. I used to teach history, Mike, so you don't try to stump me.
All right. So President Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. by John Wilkes Booth. And he shouted, what did he shout?
Death to tyrants.
Sic semper tyrannis. Whatever that, death to tyrants, is that what it means?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a loose translation.
Yeah. And so there it is. The day that President Lincoln was shot was today. What year was it? 1865?
I knew you would ask me that. That was 1865. You are correct.
Yeah. All right. So 1865, President Lincoln was assassinated. Yes. Interesting. Well, let's see here. Yeah. Okay. So that's your history lesson. When Mr. Lewis doesn't sign on, you guys get me and Matt McFarland just Googling stuff. So,
hey, Mike, I see you got a question. And so let me answer that for Cynthia. Everything changes. But at this point, we are planning on doing scholarship night in person with a limited audience. How limited, you ask? Great question. That depends on what color tier we're at, because those things determine whether we can have 25% capacity or 33% capacity or whatever. Will it be live streamed? Great question. That would depend on what facility we're having it in and if we can make that happen. So great questions. And as those things get closer, I'm sure you'll hear it first on the Mike Brady Show.
Yeah. And if in fact there is a situation where we can't figure out the live stream, I can always bring my equipment and figure out if we can stream it live on the Facebook page. So that's always an option too.
Right.
All I need is a microphone and a camera and a laptop, and then we're dialed. So, but yeah, I guess Cynthia, Mr. Mack, you'll keep us updated on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're just trying to get all those dates, firmed up. And there's so many events going on that it's hard to find a location. With CIF games and not knowing whether or not a team qualifies for CIF, will we be hosting the game? So, hey, Mike, I've got students that are jumping in the Zoom, so I gotta
go. Get out of here. All right. Have
a great one.
Have a good day. Thanks. All right, that's Matt McFarland. He is the activities director and also the ASB advisor for Templeton High School. And so he is always in the know with everything going on. All right, Anthony, what's happening? Anything, any news to report this morning?
Hey, nothing major, but I just want to shout out to my friend Dominique Solorio, who made me this awesome tumbler. I don't know if you can see that, Mike, but she made it for me, custom for my page. And so it has my name on the back of it with my Page logo on the front. So shout out to her. So
That's awesome. Was that just a nice little pick me up?
no, actually, she's starting a small business actually.
Okay,
And so I bought it from her for a decent price. And I
nice.
told her that I said, however much you want to charge me, it doesn't matter because I want to donate to your business. So
Yeah, that's so cool.
so yeah. So anyway, other than that, nothing's going on. Things are pretty quiet around the county, which is good. Just major developments yesterday regarding the Kristen Smart case. Other than that, I did look on the jail logs, and both Paul Flores and Ruben are in custody still. So kind of a fact that people have been asking me over the past couple hours, actually. So Ruben is in jail on $25,000 bail.
250,000.
250,000. I'm sorry. However, Paul is set at no bail, and so there is a chance. There is some speculation going around on if Ruben will bail out, but as far as Paul bailing out, there's no option. So that's just kind of what's kind of going on in terms of like bail amounts, who's able to bail out and who's not. So I just wanted to hit it from that corner. So
Okay.
yeah. So other than that, that's all I have.
All right. Well, that's yeah. Keep us posted if anything happens here in the next hour, and then we'll check back with you at the end of the show.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Anthony. All right, Anthony Reed, Pass Robles Incidents and Actions. I just got a text from Coach Crow. He's not able to connect on his computer, so we're going to call into him again. If I was fancy, if I had this whole thing figured out and was like running a smooth operation, I'd have my phone patched into the speaker, into this, and I wouldn't have to hold it up like this. But I'm not fancy yet. And so we're going to do it old school like we've done it in the past, and we'll get him on the phone just like we've been doing. So let's see if we can.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Coach. How are you?
Good. So yesterday they told me they were going to try to, when I was trying to get on, come and look at it, but I haven't seen them yet. So.
Okay. Well, I've got a list of people they need to go see. You and Renee Argain at the elementary campus as well. Okay. Well, yeah, you're on now. So let's talk football. We're a little banged up this week. Are you changing some strategies? What's this week been like for you?
Getting a couple newer players ready to go. We came out not as healthy as we'd like of a game ever, but where the troops are rallying and we're getting ready.
Yeah, and it's always one of those things where you want to coming off of a loss, an emotional game, where you want to kind of dwell on it, and that's just kind of human nature. But I know you have always been the type of coach for the kids who have gotten them mentally prepared for the next game. What was that post game talk like with them? If you can share some of it.
On the field at St. Joe's was basically, we talked about, we have to put this behind us. We cannot let this affect the goals we set for our season. We have to move forward. We still have 3 games left, and to you got to start learning how to put it out of their minds. And we've done a couple things once we've got back on Monday to do that. And I think the kids, yesterday's practice was pretty spirited and pretty good. And this morning during our workout, it was pretty spirited. So I think the kids are ready to go.
That's good. And I know that the guys that are sidelined this week, you've got some real leaders that may or may not be able to play with us this week, but I'll be willing to bet that those guys are going to be the biggest cheerleaders and the biggest coaches on the field this week.
Yeah, and what else it's done is it's made a couple other guys have to step up and take those roles on the field and do some things that they have not done before, and which is great. I mean, it's all about learning, right? In high school sports, one of the big things of course we want to win. Let's not kid ourselves, but there's a whole lot more goes on than just the scoreboard. And one of those things is to fight adversity and find new things in yourself that you can do. And we've asked some kids to do things they haven't done before, and they've responded.
Yeah, I mean, it's that next man up mentality, and that's kind of what you prepare the kids for anyways. Nothing's ever going to go perfect or as planned. And it's probably a great lesson for these kids to learn. Now, the bummer part is the way you have to learn it, right, is by going through it.
Right.
But that's life. You're going to have way more failures than you set out to have. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so that's good. And how's the coaching staff doing this week?
Good. They're ready to go. There's there's a lot of connection between the pastoral staff and our staff. Their head coach was an assistant for 3 years at Templeton. Their defensive coordinator was an assistant for many years at Templeton. One of our assistants was the head coach at Pastor Robles. So there's a lot of connection between the two staffs, a lot of longtime acquaintances and friendships. So it's different than most games where, you might know one or two guys on the staff, but it's partially because we're close in proximity, but also we've shared some coaches over the years between the two schools.
Yeah, I know that there's plenty of people in and around the North County that don't have enough good things to say about Matt Carroll and his team over there and his staff. Super respectful guy, a great guy in the community. I know a couple of the boys on that team, great kids. It's a fun week to think about in terms of the game, and we're going to see two teams out there that really are comprised of a lot of friendships, right? And so that's kind of when it gets more fun, is when you're competing against some of your best friends, because the stakes are a little higher and it kind of ups the intensity a little more. So I feel good about the boys going out there this week. I hope that they've put the loss behind them and they're ready to go. And I know that you're doing everything you can on your end. So what can we expect different this week? Are you able to share anything, or?
We're not going to get too far from what we do. I mean, we are who we are, and we believe in certain things, and we're going to put some new guys in those positions, and they'll be ready to go. And in 3.5 days of practice, you can't change everything you do. That's impossible.
Right.
But we're gonna make a couple of adjustments and tweaks, but we're gonna do what we do and game plan for pastoral rules. And we always tweak everything we tweak some things for every game. Mm-hmm. You have to. You can't just line up the same way every single play, or especially defensively, because they're very different than anybody we've played this year. Their offense is very different than what we've seen all year. So we have to get that, dust off some stuff we used to do and get it ready to go.
What are some of the things we can expect from their offense? What do they do?
Their running back, their tailback, Leo Kemp's a very strong downhill, run at you, break tackles, hard running young man. They will get in 2 tight end sets and muscle you, because they've got a very experienced offensive line. I think they returned 4 or 5 starters from last year. The quarterback's a good athlete. He runs around. He'll make people miss in space. So we have to be at our best at tackling and hold the line of scrimmage and get things done up front.
Okay. Yeah, Leo's a kind of a beast back there, like a Bo Jackson type runner, huh?
I don't know if he's as fast, but he's that size where he's going to break tackles and come right at you and run up in their seam. If they get seams with their blocking schemes, he's a load.
Yeah. Okay. All right. How about defensively? How do they look?
They run a different scheme than we do, but they're very similar to what we saw from Aurora Grande. With an odd front, 3-man front. They'll put more guys on the line of scrimmage, but it's still an odd front, 3 and 5 guys on the line of scrimmage.
Okay. And the kickoff is Friday at 7, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. And
yep.
All of the tiers have remained the same. The attendance requirements are all the
Right.
same still.
We are so close to being in orange. 3 of our 4 matrix were in orange yesterday. We
Okay.
just missed getting put in the orange tier. Even Kern County and Tulare County made it.
Wow.
So if we make it to the orange tier, we can up our attendance from 20% to 33%.
Okay.
So we're hoping by the Rigetti game we're there, because the numbers are certainly coming down. And they went up a little bit a couple of weeks ago, and they've come down tremendously in the last 2 weeks.
And we've had no positive COVID tests on your team, right?
No,
In the last
No,
2
not
weeks.
since we started playing. Nope, not. Nope. We're good to go.
That's good. All right. All right. Anything else you want to address? Anything regarding St. Joe?
We're moving on, right? They're a great football team. They've got kids from all over the place. They do a good job with them. Their schemes are good. They play super hard. It's a tough road when they played a lot more games than we have this year, because they did the club football thing at the start of the year, which we were not allowed to do. So that we as coaches, and that's fine. If they got to do it, go do it, right? Their kids got to play. They're getting ready to play their 8th game. So, but hats off to them. They're the best team. They won, and they've got the best players. So good luck to them.
Okay. Well, cool, Coach. Well, we're certainly rooting for the Eagles on Friday, and we again appreciate all of the bullets you take on a daily, weekly basis for the team, and we just thank you for giving our kids this opportunity.
Yeah, we love it. I tell you what, there's some unique things about Friday night. Number one, we cannot find where Templeton and Passville have ever played. I know they've never played an 11-man football game against each other. I'm not sure they've ever played a real football game against each other. We know there were some scrimmages in the past where no score was kept, but we're pretty sure this is the first time they've actually played, and especially ever played in a league game. And, I think the North County eyes will be on us and see where we stack up against a school 3 times our size.
Yeah. Wow. It's exciting. I know for me being a Bearcat, but my kid being an Eagle, it's definitely a fun week for us. It'll be great to see this new rivalry kind of birthed and see where it goes.
Yeah, we're excited. The kids are excited, and I think the whole area is excited. I wish we could open the gates and pack that place out. It'd be electric in there.
Yeah,
it's still going to be pretty electric even with a small number of fans, but I think it would be even. We could have played it like we were hoping to with the last game of the year with everybody there, but I think the kids will make it electric. I think they're ready to play.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, real quick, I got a question regarding CIF. Are we doing playoffs or
no?
Okay.
Football is not. We're done in 2 weeks.
Football's done.
Football has to end by May 1st, because you have to have some are ending this week. A lot of leagues are ending this week. Our section let us continue on, and our area chose to. And it was great. This was supposed to be our last week. But due to Rigetti having to miss some games to COVID, we moved that game to the end. And Slow and us decided not to play in the first game. We decided to move it to the end because we had some extra weeks in our season, and it's worked out great for all the schools involved.
Okay. So we're getting a couple extra weeks, but then we're done after that.
Right.
And then you've already released the schedule moving through July.
Right.
So these kids know exactly what to expect. Parents, if you're listening and you've got a kid that is playing, obviously Coach Crow's emailed out the schedule that shows kind of the work and activity through the end of July. And so we're getting that 2-week break in July.
Yes. We're going to take, it's just so odd how this all worked out. So we'll go back in the weight room full time May 3rd. A couple weeks later, if we can, we'll get the kids that are not involved in other sports out on the field, especially the ones that would have been on the JV team that didn't get to play, get them out and run them around a little bit. We're not going to do a whole lot, but we're going to, we need to start seeing them move around. And then we'll obviously take the week of finals off. We'll take 9 days off then from football when finals start, and then we'll start up on January 14th. And if people are listening and their son is in junior high and middle school and is going to play, they are not allowed to start with us until June 14th. and we'll be contacting them and getting them their calendars for the summer. And I'm meeting with the head JV coach this weekend. We're going to plan out the daily calendar for the rest of the kids. Yeah, but yeah,
Okay.
the varsity kids have their calendar. The JV kids can plan on the same time frame, just a different time of day of working out. Obviously, they work out a different time of day than the varsity.
And so we are having a JV team next fall.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
okay.
I've got 8th graders asking me every day when they can start.
Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. So then, and if any 8th grade parents are interested in learning about the program, obviously they can reach out to you by email.
Yep. Yes, that's the best way to do it.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'll put your email address on the screen here.
Perfect.
But it's dcrow@templetonusd.org. And
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll get them all the information they need. We're got to work on getting them cleared to practice, but our athletic director is a little busy with every sport going right now. We had boys soccer, girls soccer, boys tennis, volleyball, all that yesterday and today. I think there's baseball and more stuff. Yeah. Basketball has games coming up. So we're getting there. There's going to be a lot going on.
One last thing, and we'll let you go. Is there anything you need from us as a community? Are you in need of any type of equipment or needs that you're not able to get your hands on at this point? Or
yeah, we're in the process of our headphones we use on the sidelines. Some sets of those were bought in 2007, and we've added to them, but that system is going obsolete. The company after next year is no longer going to even service them. And so we're in the process of buying new headsets. You see the coaches wearing the sidelines to communicate with the press box and with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And those are not cheap.
Yeah.
They're about, to buy a set for every coach and get it all with the channels we need and the number of people we need, it's about a $9,000 hit.
Wow.
So we're working on that. And then coming up in May, we'll have another car raffle.
Oh, good. Okay.
The $20,000. Yeah. The raffle for $20,000 for a car that last summer was won by one of our teachers. Vanessa Duhan won the car.
Okay, great.
So yeah, it's a good deal. Yeah, it's $20 at a chance to win $20,000 for a car. That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, we'll keep us posted on the fundraiser, and obviously with the Templeton Athletics boosters, they typically, I think at their budget, they bring in about 90 grand a year on a normal year, and that's obviously changed this year with all of the restrictions. Right. And so there's still opportunities to donate to help offset some of these costs. So
yes, that'd be great. Yes, again, if you want to help, that email is obviously great to let me know if you're interested in helping us out. Okay, that'd be awesome.
Fantastic. All right, Coach. Well, good luck to you this week. Go Eagles! And I'm not going to wear crimson on Friday. I'll be wearing the green and white, I promise. But I will be excited to see these kids beat up on each other, because it's fun when you get to watch friends compete against each other.
Right. And we even told the kids, I put out in the Monday briefing with Mr. Mack, I told them there's a lot of close friends. There's actually family members, cousins and stuff will be playing against each other on Friday. So I think that excites the kids in the communities.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah. Leo Kemp spends the night at our house about once a week. And I wish he would spend the night Thursday, because I would make sure I overload him with like chocolate and all things that will just slow him down on Friday. But I don't think he's going to.
Yeah. His mom used to be an assistant softball coach here. So yeah. And I think her nephews played here. So yeah, there's a lot of very close ties.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it'll be fun to watch. So, all right,
we're
Coach.
Looking forward to it.
Well, we'll let you go. We'll see you on the field.
Thank you. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. Thanks. All right, that's Don Crow, the varsity coach for Templeton High School, who called in this morning. And again, they've got a big game this week against Paso on Friday, which will be super fun to watch. Andy, you are not you're a rookie when it comes to this Paso thing, right? Like you haven't experienced it yet.
I have not. No, you're absolutely right. I am in the novice stages of that.
Oh man. So Allison and I are class of 95 Bearcats. We and so she won't tell you this, but I will. She was like the SLO County Athlete of the Year or senior year for volleyball. She was a stud Bearcat, right? And so we bleed crimson and white, but over the last 5 years, it's been this weird transition of us turning into Eagles. And and Coach Albort's the defensive coordinator over there, who's a real close family friend of ours. And his son is one of my best friends since we were 3 years old. Like we're just a super tight knit group of Paso Templeton crew. So it's going to be awesome to watch this game. I can't wait.
Yeah. What an exciting, finish to this week. I know all of the student athletes are looking forward to it, and many in our community are looking forward to it. So we are definitely excited about the Templeton and Paso matchup.
Yeah, for sure. Are you going to be able to get there?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be able to make it. So it's always a challenge juggling my own kind of family activities and then making these games, especially right now with so many games going on. You heard Coach Crow talk about the basketball, the volleyball, the tennis, all going on in the same season. It's what a challenge for our coaches and our athletic director and even our students and then our families. So I'm juggling just like everybody else is, but I'm going to make it a priority to get there.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely worth coming to, and it'll be the most anticipated game of the week. I think just two schools that have never played each other. That we can find in history, right? At least as an 11-man team. And like Coach Crow said, a lot of the staff kind of intermingled. We've got staff that was over there. They've got staff that was over here, and they've all been kind of coaching together through the years. And so, yeah, it'll be fun. And that Leo Kemp kid, great kid. He's a beast. I've been trying to get him recruited over to Templeton for years. But he just won't budge. He just wants to be a Bearcat. So,
well, I mean, you're a Bearcat, at your core. I know you've made the transition, so I'm sure you can understand where he's at. But
totally,
one day maybe it'll take him into his adulthood to figure out that Templeton is the place to be.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's hope. All right. I'm gonna before we get into any business here. I want to talk about so I'm on day 16 of my 75 hard challenge. I'm feeling great. I'm doing these 2 workouts a day. So they're 45-minute workouts a piece. One of them's typically in the gym at 4 a.m. The other one is like a hike or a run in the afternoon. You mentioned you're training for something. What is, I'm trying to Google it so I can put it on the screen. What are you training for right now?
So I am training for Badwater Salton Sea. Many have probably heard of just the Badwater Ultra Marathon, which is the main race starts in Death Valley and finishes at the Whitney Portal. That's not the one I'm doing. I'm doing one that starts at the shores of Salton Sea and is an 81-mile race and finishes up at the top of Palomar Mountain, which is near Valley Center, just east of kind of North County, San Diego.
So geography-wise, you're starting and you're running kind of southeast or southwest. Sorry. It might even be. It's been a minute since I've checked the race map, but it might even be just really directly west. There you go. So I guess it would be a little bit, south and mostly west. Okay, so 81 miles. Just for those of you keeping score at home, this is 81 miles, not in a car, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I guess the more challenging part of the race is that I'll have 2 of my friends that I'll be completing the race with, and we have to stay within a certain amount of distance from each other. We have to finish with each other. So if one of us drops out, then we're disqualified from the race. So, it's one thing to have one guy finish. It's another thing to have a team of 3 finish this kind of race. And so it'll be interesting. And we all live in different locations, so we can't really train together. So we're just all responsible for our own training and working to hold each other accountable by text messages and video texts
Wow.
and those kinds of things.
And this is 100% run, right?
It is 100%. It's on foot. Yep. And we have 28 hours to complete it. So, we'll run through the night. A lot of people ask, well, what are you doing for sleep? You don't sleep. You're running through the night. We'll have a race crew. So, we're trying to talk our wives into being our race crew, and they'll follow us in a van and make sure we're taken care of.
Wow, that's incredible. So in the midst of your training, are you doing any showing up like, every 3 or 4 weeks with your crew to train together, or is it?
Yeah, so we were supposed to do this race in April of 2020. Of course, that didn't happen because everything closed down in March of 2020 due to COVID. So we were, at that time, we were getting together probably about the time that you just described, on every 3 months and running a portion of this course. And so we're planning on doing the same. We're about, a little less than 7 months out. The race is in November. So we have about 6.5 months left to train. So that's part of our plan is definitely to get together and run parts of the course prior to getting out there in November.
Okay. I've got a great podcast recommendation for you. TB12, which, if you're looking at my shirt, Tom Brady's brand, right? His lifestyle fitness brand. They have a podcast. And so if you haven't subscribed, you should, because it's got a lot of just extraordinary athletes or regular people who become extraordinary athletes, right? The one I listened to yesterday is a guy named Robert Owens.
Okay.
Robert Hamilton Owens. He's 67. Well, he's 70 now. He's the oldest guy to compete, and he did the quest, the 777 quest, which is 7 marathons on 7 continents in 7 days. Yep. Right. It's an extraordinary story of the race 1 is in Antarctica at -20 degrees, and it's the summertime there. And he said that your whole goal there is just to finish. It's not about anything except for staying warm and finishing. You hop on a plane, you fly 2 hours to South Africa, and then you run in 96-degree weather there. And then you finally get to sleep after that race while you fly to Australia. This guy is a beast to do this at 60. He did it at 67 years old.
It's amazing. I love stories like that. It's just, so inspirational and it amazes me that people are able to do the things that they're able to do. And, you mentioned he's 67. I have to tell you, Mike, when I go out and do these kinds of races, more times than not, the people that are passing me are well beyond my age. It is, It's pretty humbling, but it's also pretty amazing of what so many of these people are able to do. So
let me ask you about pain, physical pain, right? Because a lot of what I've been listening to with the Rich Roll podcast, who's another extreme athlete, and then this TB12 one, a lot of them talk about the mental, your mental state in pushing through pain. And the seems to be the common theme is if you're in pain, that's just a mental block, but you can push through it, and you are typically at about 40% of your threshold when you think you're at your end, which is insane. I'm waiting for me to push through that pain. I haven't been able to do that yet. On a long run like this, I mean, what's been your experience with that mental state of pushing through that pain to the next level?
My first time probably experiencing that kind of pain was up here in Avila Beach when I ran the 50-mile slow ultra. That was actually my first ultra race, and eventually what led me to moving up here. And gosh, I got to about mile 28 and just thought, I made a mistake of sitting down, first of all.
Yeah.
And I just thought there's just no way I'm going to be able to continue. And I remember when I had those thoughts, a lady who was probably, it's funny you mentioned, 67-year-old, a lady who was probably in her 60s passed me and was heading to finish up, the final 22 miles. And I just thought, gosh, what am I doing, sitting here feeling sorry for myself? I need to get up and just take one step at a time. And I've learned that really is, it sounds so cliche, but when you're in that much pain, the pain will subside. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
It comes in waves. I'm sure you've heard that when people talk about their experiences in races, and it comes and goes. And at times it's really bad. And at other times there's almost this euphoria associated with, those kinds of races or those kinds of challenges. So, I started all of this, Mike, because my philosophy is I'm just going to inflict as much pain on myself. That's one thing I always find comfort in, is I'm doing this because I want to,
Sure.
because life happens too. And there's pain associated with life. And I just felt like, hey, if I can inflict as much pain on myself as possible, then it's going to be pretty tough for outside forces to inflict that much pain on me. And so that's really kind of been my philosophy and why I do these things. I get asked all the time, why in the world would you go do something like that? And that's the story of all of that.
Yeah, and people think of the physical challenge, but it's the mental side of it is, I mean, it's a battle, right?
Yeah.
I'm going out doing 4 miles in a day, and that's not that far in the grand scheme of what most of these athletes like yourself and everyone else is doing. And typically mile 2 is when I start to get my groove. After the first mile, I'm loosened up. Mile 3, you start to get maybe a little pain, like physical pain in some part of your body, but then, like you said, it subsides, it goes away. Because you just focus on something else, and then before you know it, you're done. But so what are some of the things that you do mentally? Are you listening to the podcasts? Are you listening to music? Are you planning things in your mind? Where do you go mentally when you're running?
It all depends on the time of day. It's funny you talk about planning. If I train in the evening, then much of my training time is spent reflecting upon the day's work and putting things in order and really thinking about what I could have done better. And that reflection, kind of that exercise in reflection, leads me through a training session much quicker. If it's at the beginning of the day, it's typically really early and it's dark. I mean, I'm talking 4 a.m. a lot of times. And so I choose not to train with music. It's just, I have this fear of like something sneaking up on me and taking me out. And so I want to be aware of what's around me.
Sure. Oh, like outdoors training.
Yeah. Typically, I don't run on a treadmill, not very often anyways. It's just pretty grueling for me to do that. So if I'm outdoors, I'm thinking about my day and just honestly, mornings are probably the worst because I'm thinking about how bad it sucks to be training that early and for that long. It's more of a mental kind of going within and thinking about what's going on in life and getting through the training session. There's no part of the training that I really and truly enjoy. I have to be honest.
Right. Well, yeah, at least you're honest about that. As far as your diet goes, when you're training for this big Badwater event, how much are you adjusting your diet? Or is it, are you trying to trim down? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, I've been pretty awful here lately. So I'm getting next Monday marks my time to really get serious about nutrition. And The nutrition is not really, I mean, it is about trimming down. You want to be light when you run these kinds of races because, I mean, you know, you don't want to carry around extra weight just for the sake of doing it. But the nutrition part really is to fuel myself through the training, because the training's about to get, you know, serious, and I need to be adequately fueled. I need, you know, with work going on and being a father and a husband and all of the other responsibilities I have, then I need to make sure that I also have the energy to go out and train. And so, you know, nutrition wise though, it's nothing special. I mean, I stay away from sugar, stay away from processed foods. I you know, I eat a lot of meat and fish and veggies, and then, you know, keep my good carbohydrates in cycle as well, and drink a ton of water. That's really what the nutrition looks like.
And then on a race day, like on your 50 miler, what were you eating while you were running?
Oh yeah, you have to eat. I mean, that honestly, to get through one of those races, you mentioned mental, absolutely mental. Part of it is key, but nutrition is an absolute key. And the reason being is because you're always fueling for about 2 hours ahead. So in the moment, you know, you're thinking to yourself, I'm not thirsty right now, or I'm not hungry. But lo and behold, if you don't, you know, drink water, or you don't eat the right foods at that time, then about 2 hours you're gonna bonk out, and then, you know, you might find yourself with low blood sugar or dehydrated or whatever it may be. So on race days, you know, my go-to is like a peanut butter and honey sandwich. People, I mean, it's funny to listen to you know, what people eat on race day. You know, one of the ultra marathon athletes that I first started following, Dean Karnazes, he used to talk about how he'd eat a whole pizza while running. I mean, just crazy, you know. But yeah, mine mostly is peanut butter and honey sandwiches and fruit, and but you do get weird cravings, and the aid stations know how to take care of those cravings.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like Jesse Itzler.
Yep.
He's a fiend. Like bananas are his thing, right? He's got like boxes of bananas that he's got with him at all times.
Yeah, he's a funny guy.
Oh man, he's a trip. And then that post race IPA is probably like the most amazing thing ever, right? When you've accomplished it.
You know what? I would love to say yes. The problem is I've made that mistake one time, and it just sent my blood sugar like so far south that it wasn't even funny. I mean, sorry, hold on. Yeah, it sent my blood sugar so far south that I had to get rushed to the hotel. So I don't make that mistake anymore.
Wow, that's good to know.
Yeah. Hey, you can do it. I don't want to scare you, Mike. If you go and decide to go out and do a half marathon or something, feel free to indulge in that IPA. Okay.
Yeah, you have a beer after the race. Okay. So the race that you're doing, is it November 7th and 8th?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So cool. Now, sometimes people run like they're running for a certain cause. Are you just doing it as a personal challenge with you and your buddies?
You know what? I do. So I'm the chairperson for a scholarship down in Brawley. Brawley's, you know, I've mentioned before, where I was born and raised. I had a dear friend that I grew up with, was a captain in the United States Army. And unfortunately was shot down in Afghanistan in early 2000s. And so oftentimes, you know, I won't solicit funds for the scholarship, but I'll certainly you know, market for the scholarship and just try to garner interest in that scholarship. And what the purpose of the scholarship is to give back to high school seniors, you know, that are pursuing college. So
okay, and that scholarship is in his honor.
It is, yes. It's the Captain Scott Pace scholarship. So
okay, well, yeah, sorry about your loss, and we certainly appreciate his ultimate sacrifice. So,
certainly, thank you, Mike.
That he and a lot of people.
Yes.
Well, that's cool that you guys can do that. And you and your other two friends, obviously, this is probably something that's a pretty emotional journey day of the race. And then as you cross the finish line, that's awesome that you get to experience that with buddies. I mean, that's like the ultimate team thing, right?
It is. They laugh at me because I am a very I'm a very outspoken and loving friend, but when we're on the trails, don't talk to me. And I don't want to be your friend. I'm not there to really be friendly. I just want to get through the race and you know, but it does force you when you're racing with buddies. It does force you to kind of move outside of yourself and tend to others, which is nice because it takes the attention away from my own pain. So yeah,
Sure.
You mentioned it being emotional. Gosh, when I finished Slow Ultra, it may have been the first one. My family was waiting at the finish line, and never dreamed that I'd be like one of those that, you know, almost cries at the finish line. But after 14 hours out on the trails and 50 miles later, I saw my daughters and they were wearing shirts that said something about how tough their dad was, and it darn near brought me to tears. So it's so definitely awesome. An emotional finish when you get those kinds of things done.
So cool. Well, you're definitely setting a great example for your kids. That's 90% of what we're doing, right?
That's right.
Trying to set that example. So
appreciate that.
Cool. Yeah. Well, keep us posted on the training. That's it's exciting. And I know you and we still have a gym date that we've got to get in at some point, but I don't want to throw off your training regimen. Anytime 4 a.m. club is open for you.
It's I may just surprise you and show up without even telling you. So.
Yeah, I will forewarn you. The gym is owned by a Bearcat. He's the assistant varsity basketball coach. But I've been trying to recruit him to Templeton for years too. No, Bradford Young. He's a great guy. He does a lot for the community in Paso. A ton for the kids there too. So his gym's where I work out, and love that guy. So, all right, let's get on to business real quick. I know you got to run, but any pertinent information you want to get out in regards to the county or the district? I know that I logged into the world's shortest meeting on Monday. I think it was Monday. It was literally on 6:15, off by 6:27. I mean, you guys were in and out, did the formal vote on the change to the schedule. So that's in place, in effect. Very little, actually zero public comment, I believe, in that meeting. And then you have a regularly scheduled meeting tomorrow, which that one, I was kind of reading through the agenda. It looks like it's way more in depth, a lot going on tomorrow night with different committees to report and whatnot. But what are some of the things that you want to share with us this week in regards to the district?
Yeah, so you mentioned the board meeting on Monday. You know, the primary purpose of that board meeting was to get out ahead of our own reopening plan, because that reopening plan was created months ago when 6 feet social distancing was really the standard, and that's what had to be written into our plan. Of course, the most recent CDC and CDPH changes to physical distancing, going down to 3 feet, specifically in schools, has an impact on that. And so that was the primary purpose of Monday's meeting, was to revise our reopening plan and make a change to that. And then, a byproduct of that change is that we have our THS students that are in hybrid learning coming back 4 days a week. So essentially what THS has been able to do is dissolve the cohorts, which enables all students who choose to, who are in hybrid learning, to come back 4 days a week, maintaining the Wednesday as a distance learning day. So that was what happened on Monday. As we look forward to Thursday, we've been talking a lot about summer school. We've been talking a lot about testing. I spoke to you in weeks past about testing. There's some changes there, some pretty significant changes, in fact. So those are some of the things on the agenda for Thursday night. But yeah, summer school being a big one, and then testing being a big one. I know that's on a lot of our teachers' minds, but also on a lot of minds of families in our community want to know what's happening there. And so I'll be reporting out on that on Thursday.
Okay.
Trying to think what else is on the agenda.
Yeah, in regards to testing, I know in the previous weeks you had mentioned that the state testing that's scheduled to take place, there was some work trying to figure out how we can, I guess, postpone that. And there was it was going to be something that they were appealing to the state to make sure that we could do something like that. I'm assuming that's what you're referring to with the changes.
Yeah. So what the state proposed to the U.S. Department of Education was that school districts be able to use have the authority to make decisions about which assessments we use. And so what that means is, most school districts have some form of benchmark assessment that we use already in our system. And the state asked that we be able to use those local benchmarks rather than using the Smarter Balanced Assessment, which is what the state pushes out to us, and what we're in a typical year, what we're required to use when we administer students at the end of the school year. And the reason why we're required to use that assessment is because there's funding and other accountability measures tied to it. So fortunately, the U.S. Department of Education granted the state that waiver, and so we are in works, with our board of trustees and with our teachers and our principals about which assessments now we're going to use to close out this school year. So that's what you can expect on Thursday night.
Okay, great. No, that's good news. All right. Well, so other than those things on the agenda, from my standpoint as a parent of a high schooler, I certainly appreciate and want to extend my gratitude to the pivot that you guys were able to do, and in kind of being flexible to the fast changing environment that we're in. I know that you guys didn't rule out changes in the last meeting. You left it open to, hey, look, if somebody, if there's an opportunity for us to change, then by all means, we don't want to rule it out. And so you guys, proving just that by welcoming back the students next week, from my standpoint, I just want to say thanks for being flexible, and thanks for being a board and a district that's not afraid to really kind of put yourselves out there and make adjustments. And it's important to note, it's any kid who wants to be at school can be at school. It's not it's not an all or nothing. Everybody, you still have the option, right, to choose whether or not you want your kid to be in that environment.
That's correct. So yeah, those that are in distance learning have the option of staying there. And I should say, actually, those that are in distance learning are staying in distance learning because, back in January when we asked families to make that decision, we did ask that they make that decision for the remainder of the year. But we are allowing, high school students who are looking at this and going, yeah, 4 days a week, that's not what I was thinking when I signed up for hybrid. There is the option to say, hey, you know what, we'd rather finish the school year in distance learning mode. I know in speaking to Mr. Aston and Ms. Hendrickson, they are taking on those requests, and they're few and far between, but there are some requests to go from hybrid to distance learning, and they're accommodating those requests. So, just more examples of the work that our administrators, our site administrators have done, our teachers, our support staff. You mentioned our board of trustees being just being supportive of change and being able to move quickly and adapt to the always changing guidance. I just can't say enough good things about all of the people in our organization. And one more time, this is an example of that, on Monday.
I don't want to put you on the spot to comment, so I won't ask you to comment, but is there anything coming up in the future that would give us more clarification on why the middle school is staying the way that it's staying versus what the high school is choosing to do?
My understanding, and I won't go into too many details, but because I think more details are to come, but my understanding is that the middle school is getting ready to bring their 6th grade students back 4 days a week as well. And so that's a start down the same path. And so again, administrators are working, teachers are working to adjust to these new protocols. And I think you're gonna begin to see and hear about more and more change as this school year comes to a close. So it's worth mentioning. Every instructional day is an important instructional day, and yet we're coming. It's hard to believe, but this school year is coming to a close. I mean, I think after this week we'll be down to 8 weeks of instruction left, and so teachers are still working really hard. Support staff is still working really hard, and of course our site administrators are still working really hard to make sure that our students and their families are getting the level of service that they expect from Templeton Unified School District.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well that's good to note. That's exciting for 6th graders too to hear that. So we look forward to getting more information on that. Is there any, I don't know, are there any new positions being flown for next school year or for this summer as of now? Can you speak to that at all?
I think the most notable, and it's not necessarily a new position, but I mean, we are, and I'll talk about this on Thursday night, is we're planning for a more significant than usual summer school. And so we'll be looking to hire teachers for that summer school session. And that's really, we're gonna hit that hard. And we are expecting a lot of our students and families to be very interested in summer school. And so we're going to need many teachers to serve our students' needs. And so, that's really where our minds are at. I mean, as we go into next school year, Aaron has mentioned a couple times over the state and federal grants that are a part of the funding calculation for next school year. And that will allow us to seek other positions, but we're still working on the details of those.
Okay, awesome. Well, cool. And then, as always, these school board meetings that you guys have are actual meetings of the board and the administration to conduct their business. They have set agendas. Public is always welcome to attend those meetings. You guys have the link on your website. And then public is always encouraged to give public comment as well. In the public comment portion of the meeting, whether it's audibly live through Zoom or via email day of before 4 p.m., submitting anything 450 words or less to the board. That's how you guys can get your voices heard on these meetings. But these are meetings for them to conduct their business with a set agenda that they've already got. And so that hasn't changed. It won't change. It's the way these meetings are run. And the agenda is always online for you to see what exactly will be talked about at these meetings as well. So, all right, Mr. Burnett, anything else you want to get into us before you jump off?
No, I mean, just go Eagles. A lot of sports going on, and a big game Friday night. So, and then I appreciate you spending time on tomorrow night's board meeting, because it is an important one, and there'll be a lot of information there. So thank you for sharing that tomorrow, Thursday, at 6:15. So.
For sure. Awesome. All right, Andy. Well, thanks. Keep us posted on your training regimen, and we'll I'll be tracking you for sure. Yeah, thanks for getting personal and diving into that with us.
Absolutely. My pleasure, Mike. Thanks for having me.
All right, have a good day.
You do the same.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. All right, that's Andy Burnett is the assistant superintendent of schools for Templeton Unified School District. We are blessed as a community to have such great leadership, and Andy is no exception to that. He's a phenomenal dude who is just for me personally, as a guy who is on an ultimate quest of health and fitness and living my ultimate life, he's a good inspiration to me in tracking his daily progress too. So outside of work. All right, it's 8:55. Let's check in real quick with Anthony. What is happening? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing well.
I see that you posted something in the chat. It's a press conference today at 11 with District Attorney Dan Dow, and I'm assuming it's in regards to the Kristen Smart case?
Yes, they made a post on their Facebook page that says that they're going to be going Facebook Live with comments from the District Attorney's office regarding the arrests of Paul Flores and Ruben Flores.
Okay, let's see here. Let me see if I can pull this up.
So, kind of about the press conference from what I read while you're bringing it up. I read on there that it's going to be at 11 o'clock today. I even heard on KSBY just before I logged there that it's going to be much like yesterday, where it's going to be on the actual KSBY's TV channel, and KSBY will also be live streaming it on Facebook as well. So you can catch it either on the District Attorney's website on Facebook or KSBY's website on Facebook, or you can even catch it on live TV on a KSBY TV. So you can pick your choosing and which way you want to watch. So.
Okay, awesome. So that's today at 11 o'clock. Well, cool. Looks like they're moving forward with that stuff. And as of yesterday, Sheriff Parkinson said that they expect that Paul Flores will be arraigned on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ruben as well, pending any type of bail or bond that's been posted. So, okay, well, we'll keep an eye on that. I'll certainly be watching that at 11 o'clock. That's good stuff. So, all right, how about any other incidents outside of this happening this morning?
Nope. CHP isn't reporting anything hazardous. They just want everyone to be safe. It's a little colder this week. Have you noticed that, Mike?
Yeah, it's not ideal conditions for me to be outside training and running. It was 39 degrees this morning when I woke up. It's going to be in the low 60s today, but we're going to warm up into the mid 80s by the weekend, which I'm super excited about. I love warm weather.
Yeah, I heard the possibility of it possibly hitting 90 by next Monday.
Oh man, I would love that.
Yeah, because yesterday after the show, after I thought it was going to warm up, I like to have my screen door propped, or my front door of my apartment propped open with the security screen closed. And so after a couple hours, probably around 2 o'clock, it started getting like really windy. And I'm like, well, what's this wind about? So I had to close my door and everything. I couldn't enjoy the breeze because it was cold. So I'm just like, what the heck? So hopefully that'll change.
Yeah, it was super cold yesterday. I was bundled up wearing sweats and a sweatshirt as I hiked up the mountain to do my training. But and obviously I was sweating after that. But it was cold and windy, and those are two things that I'm not a fan of. It says the winds today are going to be 3 miles an hour southwest winds, but I can tell you we got some gusts yesterday that it felt like 10. 15 miles an hour. So
yeah, I'm over here, as you found out yesterday. I'm over here on 23rd Street,
north side. Yeah,
and after you left yesterday, like I said, probably about a couple hours after you left, it started like getting really cloudy and everything. And I'm just like, what's this? What are the clouds and winds about? So I'm like,
Yeah.
it's supposed to be springtime. It's supposed to be warmer instead of colder. So it's
Well, the sun's out now here in East Templeton, so I'm going to go enjoy the day.
So
Awesome.
we'll see what happens in terms of the winds.
All right, Anthony. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, sounds good, Mike.
All right, see ya. All right, that's Anthony Reed, Paso Robles Incidents and Actions. Super cool that he's able to join us every day. All right, that's it. That's the Morning Buzz. It's 9 o'clock, almost 9 o'clock. If you've got any stories or information that you want to get out to the public, feel free to email me, morningbuzzaroundtown@gmail.com. You can also always DM me or text me, whatever you want to do, however you want to get a hold of me. You can find me here. I'm also on Instagram at Mike D.W. Brady, so you can find me there as well. But super happy that you guys were able to join me today. It was Wednesday, the 14th of April, and that's it. That's the show. It's the Morning Buzz. We've got a great rest of the week lined up for you, so make sure you keep in tune, and also make sure you share the show with your friends, because the more people that are part of our community, the better the show gets. So thanks again. We appreciate your time today. See you guys. Let's leave you with some good news. Every day's a blessing, right? So what are you going to do with it?